Welcome to the RIP 28 podcast, the RIP 28 podcast. This is a podcast where a couple of fellas can come together and talk about a couple of issues that's going on in our fellas world. How you all doing today? I am your host, Sly Williams. I'm joined by three of my real good friends. First, we'll start off in the top left, Mr. LB himself. How you doing out there, Bron? Got Bron coming in late.
Yo, it's Beezy the Great, the educator, feeling great, man. Good to see y'all fellas.
All right, over there to my right, we got the G5 Monster. What's going on, Drake?
Oh man, ain't nothing, just survived that dust storm that came through, you heard me? But yeah, we still making it down here in the truck, man.
And down in the bottom, we got the one and only, the super firefighter down there, Mr. J.A. James, what's going on, partner?
What's up, people? It's your local neighborhood good guy, James, man. Central worker, Black Lives Matter.
All right. We want to thank all you all for joining us, checking us out on the RIP 28 podcast. You know, we love that you're checking us out on YouTube. We love that you're checking us out on SoundCloud. You're following us on our Twitter page. You are sending us emails. We love the feedback that we're getting from you all about our podcast. We're quite a few episodes in deep now. And one of the things about our podcast, we've been realizing we've been getting a lot of viewer feedback. We've been getting a lot of people coming to us, hitting us on our Gmail account or hitting us in our DMs, asking questions, wanting to know certain things, wanting to know how things are going, wanting to have our opinion on things. So what we decided to do for this episode, we decided to have an advice episode. We got quite a few letters in, and we want you all to continue to write us. We want to make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow us on Twitter, follow on SoundCloud, subscribe to YouTube. But if you have questions, be sure to hit us up. You know, Gmail us, hit us on email, or hit us on Twitter, hit us on Instagram. But we got a few questions, man. People want to know some answers. They want to know our opinions. So we're going to make this an advice episode. We're going to answer a couple of questions from a few emails that we've gotten. All right. So we can start this up. We're going to bring up question number one. Question number one says right here, hey, fellas. Let me move some stuff around so I can read it. Here we go. Hey, fellas. I'm a 37-year-old black woman. I'm financially secure with a well-paying job. I'm a partner at a highly respected law firm in Atlanta. I don't have any kids. I'm fun to be around. I don't do sports, but I don't mind them. I love to travel and kick it with people. All of my male friends tell me that I'm a really cool chick, but the question is, why can't I get a man? What do you think I need to do or change in my life? Do I need to make the first move? Where are all the single available fellas at? Wow, fellas. You got a young lady, seems like she got a lot going on in her life. She got a question on why she can't get a man. Man, I'm going to throw this out. I'm going to throw this out to my couple of partners over here, and I'm going to give my little 2 cents in the end. But what you got to say, LB?
I would say, man, maybe the fellas look at her as one of the homeboys. Maybe she's been put in the friend zone. I don't see anything that she's doing terribly wrong, but maybe it's just that she gives off a friend vibe or a motherly vibe. Maybe she needs to just change some of the things and some of her activities, but it seems like she's a great woman with a lot going on, and maybe she's intimidating guys. Maybe the guys are not as financially stable as she is, and hey, you know how it is with that male ego. If she's not making less than us, maybe they feel a little intimidated.
What say you, James?
Man, I got to kind of agree with LeBron, man. I think most guys may be just intimidated by her, man. She works at a law firm. She's probably making good money. You're down there in Atlanta, man, you know, hey, she's probably doing big things. So a lot of guys probably just intimidated. And like you say, they probably just see it as cool and they don't want to make that first move because they don't want to get shot down.
Down there, Dre.
Well, I got a little bit of a different perspective on this.
Thank you.
When it comes to females like that who pretty much solid, they concrete. I mean, in all honesty, like most dudes are intimidated. But the thing about it is, you gotta understand the chick that seems the most intimidated really is the one that's more thirsty than the chicks who actually look thirsty. That's the crazy thing about it. And then on top of that, to give her some advice from a personal perspective, really you gotta kind of go out here with this internet dating, like this black people meet. That's actually how I met my wife. But like these you gotta go on the sites that you gotta pay for, because think about it. Ain't nobody gonna pay to be on a website to be playing. I mean, don't get me wrong, you got some guys that do, but for the most part, once you start paying to be on a website looking for somebody to meet, you truly looking for somebody to meet, because you're looking outside the box. You ain't looking like, she's not looking in Atlanta. She might have to look elsewhere, another city, another town, whatever the case may be. And that'll give her more of an opportunity. Hell, she might meet a guy who got his stuff together. Maybe he can't meet no females who got their stuff together. That'll be a perfect match. But this is how it works.
Hey, man, I'm going to be the bad guy for a second, man, because ain't none of y'all really telling the truth and getting to this, man. Get to the real point of why this lady don't have no man. See, men, I want you to look at everything she said. She said she got a well-paying job. She love to travel. She highly respected. All this good stuff. But she left off one thing. She ain't say what she looked like. She ain't say, I mean, let's just be honest. She ain't say what she looked like, And I hate to be the bad guy, but we as men, we're visual creatures, And I hate to make it sound like that, but it is what it is. I mean, a great-looking woman can get with an ugly guy. How you think I get so many women? Hey, it happens. But it's rare, a dude will go and pick up an ugly chick. I mean, it sound cold, it sound mean, but you notice she left everything else. She left everything else off except that one thing of what she looked like. What y'all?
But it's too many men out here in the world. Now, what's ugly to one person may not be ugly to another person. Now, she may not be attracted to guys that she want to attract, but she may be attracted to somebody else that she's just not attracted to. So, I mean, it's somebody out there for everybody.
Hey, but look at this. Even if she is maybe not as attractive to you, are you trying to date for looks, or you dating for stability? It's all about what you're dating for. Now, if you're dating for right now, looks are important. But if you're dating for a long-term marriage or for security and stability, hey, she sounds like a winner. You have to prioritize what you want.
Hey, man, you can get both.
I put like this.
Yeah, you can get both, but in most cases, you're going to take one or the other, buddy.
Yeah.
A big thing is why her problem might be, she might don't have no sex appeal. Like, everybody that's seen that unattractive chick is like, damn, she look good from the neck down.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Everything look good.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. Then everybody also seen the girl like, damn, if she just dressed herself up, she'll look so much better. You know what I'm saying? So she might actually be in that zone where that's maybe why none of her friends maybe said anything, because it's kind of like, I don't feel like taking on all that problem. I don't feel like putting in all that work to get her right. You know what I'm saying? So it's a gray area up in there.
She need a makeover then?
She might. She just might.
Hey, Dre, that's a good
point, though.
Hey, that's a good point, though. That sex appeal is important. You can have everything else going for you as a woman. Everything, your money, your career. You could be cool. You might be in even football and sports. But if you don't have that appeal to make somebody say, wow, that's her right there, man, you're going to lose out every time and find yourself in that situation. Yes, sir. You got to catch it and keep it, though. You got to keep it out.
Right.
Flash for a day. Oh, man, she look good. But then she come back tomorrow and like, oh, man, what happened? So you got to be able to keep that eye. Don't just flash for me one day, baby. I need consistency.
And she got to have that. She got to have that wake up mentality. When you lay beside her, to find your wife. If you lay beside her and to wake up the next morning and you look at her and she's still beautiful, then there you go.
Oh yeah.
Well, so what?
Go ahead, bro.
So what you telling me is, for the other on the other foot, if somebody roll over and look at Sly, okay.
Oh, they're gonna run.
Go ahead, G5.
They're gonna run.
Hey, it's
I'm out.
it's a cruel double standard. It is. It's a cruel double standard, but that's what it is, man. It is what it is. Hey, check this out. Let's kind of wrap this up real quick. This one right here, because we got some more we want to jump in. Like I say, our DMs have been open. Our DMs have been real open, and people have been hitting us up. But her thing, Drake kind of alluded to it earlier. She was saying, where are all the available single men? What's your advice for helping her find the man? Let's go to Dre already helped us. Let's go LeBron and James. Start off with LeBron. Let's wrap this one up.
The only thing I would say to her is be patient. Don't just make an irrational decision. Kind of look in that mirror and see what you see and be honest with yourself. Be honest. Be totally honest. Leave money and everything else out and say, what am I doing? What am I not doing? How can I spice myself up and make myself more appealing for a guy?
What about you, Jay?
Man, just be you, man. I mean, there's somebody out there for everybody. I mean, love is gonna find you. God made somebody for everybody. So if you just be patient, hey, they'll find you. Don't worry about it.
All right, good advice on that one. Good advice. We're going to go over to question number 2. Pull up question number 2 over here and break things down. Here we go. What up, brothers? I have a dilemma on my hands. I was kicking it with 2 chicks, and things were going good. I had no complaints. They didn't either. Now, both of them are kind of hinting at being exclusive and putting our title on our relationship. They both want to know, what are we? Well, here's the problem. Girl number A is decent looking, around the 7. A little on the skinny side, but she's the boss. Old girl make plenty of money and don't mind spending it. I do all right for myself, but she's loaded. She done took my ghetto ass out the country twice. She's a good girl, but truth be told, she's kind of lame. And she doesn't do anything wifely. Plus, her inner freak still don't want to come out. Girl B is damn sure a 9.5. No lie, she bad as hell. I can't even front. I'm surprised she fucks with me. She don't make a lot of money, but she does do a lot of womanly duty type stuff. Cook, clean, etc. She has a little baggage though. She has a kid, coolest little dude in the world, but her baby daddy is a D-boy and has been known to shoot someone. What should I do? Which one should I choose? I'm confused. Oh, man. Hey, man, this man got a problem on his hand. Let's start off down there with Dre. What you think about this, Dre?
Okay. Shots fired. Shots is fired. Man, for one, might as well take the safe route down. No, I'm joking. But all jokes aside, I mean, if the safe route ain't doing wifely stuff, man, she ain't gonna do wifely stuff later. I mean, I don't necessarily know how pointy he had in his life, but people kind of show their true colors in her. That's what she's showing you now. Hey, you ain't gonna be happy later. But the other one, on the other hand, I mean, you gotta understand what the baby daddy been shooting people for. If he's known to be a shooter, is it over drugs? Is it over her? Or is it over other things? So you need to find those details out. But I mean, all jokes aside, I'll probably, in that situation, because see, he's getting the best of both worlds. You know, he's getting trips from one, and then the other one, like I say, she got the look. She probably put it down in the bedroom because he didn't really speak on that, which means she probably is taking care of him in that way. So, in all honesty, he need to find chick C.
He need to leave both of them and get another.
Both of them, get another one, dog. Another that's a happy medium between the two.
Oh man, what up with you, Jane? What you think?
Man, you got to go with what makes you happy, man. All that money and everything else, that don't mean nothing. Me personally, I would choose chick B because I think with her we could grow together. We can get past the little dope boy thing, man. A man is a man. Hey, you just got to man up. Hey, Hey, you're a shooter, you gotta be a shooter too. Hey, you gotta take care of your business. That's your woman. You gotta show her that that's your woman.
So they ain't stopped making guns when they made his gun, right?
That's right.
What going on, LB?
Hey man, I say this. I'm with Drake and I'm with James. I say combine them and make sick chick C, and then get the best of both worlds. But with James, like James said, hey, I'm a man first. You ain't finna scare me away if that's what I want. And especially if she got that freak side on and she a 9.5 and she doing wifely duties, man, dope boy or not, you gonna have to come see me. You got to show me what you're talking about, man. I hate to keep it like that, but that's real. Show me what you're talking about, and we'll sit down and talk like men first and see if we can come to a resolution. But if we can't, man, you're going to have to deal with it.
All right, now I hate to be the guy. I hate to be the guy that takes that's contradictory to what I just said. But you know, I was just talking about good looks and all, but all y'all seem to be kind of moving over to girl B, who's the 9.5, but I'm moving to girl A. You know, true enough, she don't do no wifely duties, I guess, or whatever you would consider wifely duties, cooking and cleaning. I guess that's what he consider wifely duties. But I mean, we ain't living in our dad's time either. You know. A lot of that stuff you do on your own, man. A lot of that stuff you cook, you clean. I cook, I clean myself. That ain't much of a loss to me. And you know what I'm saying? If she not doing that, now if that inner freak is still tied up, now that's what we got to figure out how to release that. Now that's the problem. That's the problem if she can't release that inner freak. But a lot of y'all moving over to that 9.5, the girl who the 9.5. But we all know that 9.5 ain't gonna be a 9.5 forever. It's rare. It's rare when they keep it all the way forever. You know,
Man,
so I might want a little substance, and a lot of this is we don't know the guy's age. We don't know their age and stuff like that because. At the age I'm at, I know all you guys married or whatever, but the age we at now, if you were dating a woman with a child, ain't a deal breaker. You know, that ain't a deal breaker no more, because you know you expected to have a kid when you're 40. You know, you would think they might have a kid when you're 40, so that ain't no deal breaker. But if he was 20, you know, he's 23, 24, I can see why a 23, 24-year-old would want to stay away from a woman with a child. So a lot of stuff we don't really know just from this letter. So, but let's get a general consensus. Me, I'm going with 8. Who you going with, LeBron?
Well, I think I would go with A too, but she would have to quickly get that inner freak out. That might be a deal breaker. I like what A is bringing. I like all of that. I like what B is bringing. But like you said, at my age now, I need substance. I need substance because at the end of the day, that inner freak ain't gonna get the bills paid and get things done. So I'm going with A, but she got to get that inner freak out, baby. Let's bring it out right now.
What about you, Jane?
No, man. Everybody on here on this panel has been married or is married, and we all know that ain't none of us want no lazy woman. When you come home from work, you won't either. I mean, and we do it both ways. Now we'll help our wife out and do certain things, like you said, Sly. It's a new day and time. But you don't want to come home and she been home all day, it been her day off, and you tired, and you ain't got shit on the goddamn table to eat. You wonder what the hell you gonna do. And then another thing is in a freak, man. I mean, she ain't doing nothing for you. I'd rather have a chick be that I can grow with. She might not have all the money, all the loot, all that, but we can grow together and make an empire together.
You gotta dodge them bullets, though.
Hope you're alive long enough to see that empire.
What's up, Drake?
Man, you know me, you know, the street thug, you know, I'm gonna have to do, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna do my background check on that BD right quick, you know what I'm saying? If I find out he official like that, then hey, I'm gonna have to go with chick. Hey, but If I find out, he just a hot head in some street situations, I'm all, like I said, but I'm here first on Chick B though. I mean, I'd rather come home, if she don't cook, at least I still got that sex appeal there. Still something else that I'll be happy with. Because if she's not that appealing and there ain't no food on the table, and I'm hungry and tired, and you ain't gonna, I hate to say it, ladies, but you ain't gonna hit me off with the sloppy topping to cheer me up a little bit. You got to go.
That's what y'all doing though.
You got to go. So, Chick B for me, dog.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. If y'all choose Chick A, y'all settling because she got the money. That's what she said. She got the money, but she ain't got the sex appeal. She ain't got the bedroom action. She don't cook. She don't clean. What? I mean, hey, that's a roommate.
Word, big facts. Big facts.
Oh man.
Hey, one quick question on that. Okay, you say you choose Chick B, but now she ain't growing. You grown, you got your extra income, you got your business, you the fireman. But this chick, all she doing is being a big freak. So now, what are you doing now? She not growing, she's become stagnant in her growth. Now
That's your job.
Nothing to fall back on.
But that's your job. Your job is to bring her along with you. Man, you have to teach her. She may not have the skills that you have, but you got to teach her and find the skills in her and bring it out of her. Because everybody got something in them that they're good at. So that's what you got to do as the man. Because you the man. You the head of the household, right? You the man.
That Chick A, she got it in her. Maybe she just ain't bring it out for she got it in her. Believe me, she got it in her.
And let's let our listeners
take a guy like me to bring it out of. She got it in her.
Let's let our viewers.
Hey, LeBron, we're not selling you now, LeBron. Settle down.
My bad.
Hey, that dude might not be able to break it out of her.
Right.
It might just take a Brown River guy to bring it out of her. You know?
Hey, let's let our viewers and listeners chime in and make sure you send your responses. You can hit us up on Twitter. You can hit us up on Gmail. You can hit us at RIP28podcast on Gmail. Let us know what you think. Now we're going to move on to letter number 3. Letter number 3, we're going to talk about this one. It's a pretty long one. All right. Hey, guys, I know a couple of y'all have athletic experience, so I kind of need y'all's advice. I'm a single mom with a very talented son. He's a rising 10th grader, and he's very good at basketball. I know everyone thinks that their child is good, but mine is really good. He made second team All-State as a freshman last year. He has already gotten recruitment letters and 2 offers. My problem is that there are a few private schools and prep schools calling, trying to get him to transfer to their school. I'm not sure what road we should take. The local schools plan on letting him go for free. I have to get him to and from school. I'm not sure I'm ready for him to go out of state, but they make everything sound so nice. I told his current coach, and he doesn't want my son to leave. I don't know much about basketball, but I do know that my son's school isn't very good. My daughter graduated from there 3 years ago, and her entire time there, the school probably won less than 10 games. Help me out. Signed, Basketball Mom. All right, we can go with the basketball coach. We'll start out with LeBron, man. You a coach? What's your opinion?
Well, I'm gonna speak from a coach's point first. Every coach is gonna want their best player to stay there, whether they're struggling or not. But as a parent, we must make the right decision for our child to better his or her future. I know it may be tough letting your child go out of state or, you not be there with him or her every day, but we have to look at the long term. I would definitely go and investigate, talk to some former students and athletes from that school, kind of get a consensus of what's going on and make a decision based on that. I would not limit my child only because we have to move or he or she has to move. I would definitely do what's best in the interest of my child. not a coach.
All right, Coop, you was a hooper. What you think, Coop?
For her, I mean, I get it. You know what I'm saying? This is a single mom. You know what I'm saying? The word is gonna be there. You know, so we all a baby in our mama lives at the end of the day. But at the same time, you know, like I said, I know it's fear there, but at the same time, you gotta do what's right for him. Like, you can't. You already had your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, first, her being a mom, like, she done did whatever she was gonna do, whatever the case may be. Now is the time where you can't hold your son back. You know, worst case scenario, he goes to one of these private schools and he calls, "Hey, mom, I want to come home." Hey, at the end of the day, you gave him his opportunity. He didn't want it, so when he looked back in life, he can say, "You know, mom gave me a shot. It didn't work. So be it." But if she don't let him do it, and then maybe he don't get to go to the college that he wanted to go to, or maybe he don't get as many looks as he wants to, or whatever. Maybe he think he's worth getting because he's on a sorry team, so it's gonna be hard for people to come see him. So, I mean, a lot of that stuff comes back into play. You know, we all see here, we talk about our experience in high school, how our coaches did this, and they didn't teach us this, and da-da-da-da-da, blah. But at the end of the day, that's all we had. But none of us had an opportunity to go to a bigger, better private school that was going to give us a better opportunity. So, because I'm pretty sure we did, all of us would be talking about that as well. Like, I mean, if I could have went here, I could have went there. But, you know, it is what it is. But, yeah, she got to let him. She got to let him make a decision. She need to let him make the decision, not her make the decision.
All right, James.
Man, I look at it like this. She know her son better than anybody else. We've seen it too many times where, you know, you get a kid that has all the talent in the world and he goes off to school somewhere and then he just do whatever, get in trouble and everything, man. So for me, I mean, if she knows she got a good son and he's pretty straight and narrow, then yeah, you know, ain't nothing wrong with going to the bigger, better school and, you know, getting more limelight. But also, when you go to I mean, even at a smaller school, a school that's not winning, if you like that, somebody gonna find you. So it don't matter. It's too many recruiting tools out here nowadays. Only thing you got to do is put your stuff on YouTube, Instagram, anything like that, man. Somebody will find you. So, I mean, she has to know her son, and if her son is capable mentally of going to another school, knowing that his mom's not there and nobody to tell him what to do, when to do, and how to do it, then it's cool. But if he's not, then hey, you got to stay right here with me, and we gonna roll through it.
All right. Well, here go my thing, and dealing with me being a broadcaster for 15 plus years. I'm used to. I see a lot of these cases where you have a real talented kid, and then you have other schools coming trying to recruit him. Now you got to weigh out the positives and the negatives to all this stuff. Now you sit here and you talk about the out-of-state schools, those factories, those basketball factories. You know, the IMGs, the Oak Hills, the Mount Verge. You know, those out-of-state prep schools. Now, if you come into that school, their main job is to get you ready for the next level, and that's the only thing they care about. They care about making you a better basketball player and making sure you at least qualified to go to college. So like kids who go to IMG Academy, they have nutritionists, they have weight programs and all this stuff to make them the best athlete possible. But what you don't see, they don't get to experience the high school life. They don't get to experience some of the fun stuff hanging out Friday night, you know what I'm saying, after the game at McDonald's. They don't experience that. When you watch a lot of these tournaments, like I watch a lot of these tournaments, and I broadcast and I do play-by-play for a lot of these tournaments, these national tournaments. You see these national schools come in, and these kids, once the game is over, they kind of just go put their headphones on and just sit and kind of wait on the bus. Whereas the local kids who go to a local school, they got all their friends and family or whatever at the game, and they kicking it out, you know, right before they leave. So it's kind of a lonely life when you go to some of these prep schools, but the national exposure at this prep school could be worth it. Now, she was also talking about some of the private schools around her town are recruiting her son. Now, here's the thing about going to the private schools. Going to the private schools, you go there, and Dre was saying that you need to investigate the school, find out what type of school it is, because truth be told, in the South, most private schools were started because of segregation. That's why the white folk didn't want their kids. Once schools got desegregated, the white kids didn't want their kids going to school with the black kids, so they started these private schools. Now, fast forward 30 years, they realize these black kids can bring in some money playing basketball, so they go and recruit a couple of the black kids to go to the school, you know, and so he has to understand, if he's mentally strong enough and he understands that he's being used for that school, he can go to that private school, you know. He can go to the private school and be used, but he has to understand that he has to use that school for whatever they provide, whatever resources that school provides, whatever possible connections that school provides. Because you never know, at that private school, somebody who owns a bank, their kids could be at that school. You know, it's just, you have to understand that school is using you, but you have to also use that school. Now, one of her worries was that she didn't know if she could take her son to and from school. That's the least of her problems. Because if her son any good, somebody gonna get his ass to school. Somebody gonna get him to school and gonna get him home if he go to one of them private schools. Now, here go the thing about staying home. If he stays home and goes to his sorry school, you got to figure out what level of sorry school it is. And this is what I mean by that. You could have a school, his home school could be a very bad athletic school, but they have really good academics at that school for a public school. So he could stay there, you know. Now, if the school is really sorry in athletics and it's a really sorry academic school, I would advise you to leave. But here's the thing, man, you can also stay, and he could be the one that sets the tradition for that school. If he stayed at that school, he could be the one to establish that school is something to be proud of in the community. Because here's the thing, when you go to public school, especially high school, you're going to the school closest to you. That's your community, and you're repping for your community. You could be uplifting your community. You could be uplifting your community just by staying at home. So
let me ask you something though. Now, we've seen locally here, we've seen a lot of kids do both ways. I mean, we've had the Ray Allens, we've had the KGs that went off to other schools to go to the bigger schools. Lately, we had Zion, but Zion stayed in state. But he went to a private school, but the private school wasn't known for nothing. But he put the private school on the map.
Well, I think his situation was a little bit different because Zion was going to that private school from the time he was in middle school.
Okay, well
so he kind of came up in that school. But okay. I see the picture.
Let's say like Jermaine O'Neal. Eau Claire was known, but they weren't nationally known until like Jermaine O'Neal got put on the map. I mean, they were known, but they wasn't no top 10 school. That's what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying?
They won the beach ball classic before he came. Yeah, Eau Claire was nationally known. They had an Adidas contract. Eau Claire had an Adidas contract.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you.
But that's why I say you have to know your child, because if you don't know your child and you send him off to this private school and he's able to, I mean, it's just like going to college. They're not gonna, like you said, they're not gonna look after you. Only thing they're making sure you do is your basketball. So he has to be mentally prepared to do everything up there. Versus down here, you can still kind of bring him along until you know that he's ready to go somewhere else.
I'm going to throw in there real quick. It's funny that this question came about. I was just watching the shot by LeBron, and he said his personal self. He was like, he chose to go to the private school to have the better opportunity on the basketball court rather than go to the public school he's supposed to go to, and they were sorry. You know what I'm saying? He said this himself. But he said the only difference with him was that he was able to still come home at the end of the night. So he said he had got the best of both worlds. He went to school with the white kids, and, you know, so he got to party with the white kids on Friday night after the game, just like Slav was talking about. But then on Saturday night, he was still able to come back to the hood and party in the hood on Saturday night. So, you know, he got the best of both worlds. But like I said, he made the same decision. He was like, I'd rather go to this private school to have a way better opportunity than I am if I go to the same school in the hood. I mean, he took his ridicule behind, you know, from everybody, oh, y'all selling out, y'all going to that white school, blah, 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 blah. But he said, hey, they got over it, and they saw what I became. So, I mean, it's a two-way street on that situation.
All right. Well, we appreciate everybody on that one right there. Now, before we get into this last letter, we're gonna wrap it up, man. Time getting kind of short. We still want to remind you guys to go ahead, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You know, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud, and be sure if you have a question, man, hit us up in those DMs. Let us know in the comments. Let us know how you feel. What you think about this episode, let us know how you feel. Now we want to hop into our last question. We're running kind of short on time, so we want to hop into our last question. This is our number 4. Yo, I have a real simple question, but it's bothering me. Do I tell or don't I? I cheated on my then fiance about 2 weeks before we got married. An old flame came in town, and you know how that goes. Well, I hit it, and I thought I moved on. I ended up getting married, and everything was all good. Well, lo and behold, she hit me up about a month ago saying she was 3 months pregnant. That messed me up. I didn't know what to do. I just laid low, hoping that when she had the baby, I would find out it wasn't mine. Well, luck was on my side. She ended up having a miscarriage. God damn.
That ain't lucky.
Yeah, it is.
Bring it back up. I ain't finished the letter. We got more to go to the letter, man. All right. So I was free and clear. But then my wife and I went to this couple's retreat for the church, and the pastor said all that Christian stuff about forgiveness and shit. And everybody got to crying. My wife told me that she knows about some of my cheating before we got engaged, and she forgives me. Well, after we left the conference, I got to wondering if I should tell my wife about the girl. Now look, I'm completely thankful now. I don't even think about stepping out. Should I tell her?
Hell no.
Cheater. Jane, what you say? What you say, Jane?
Hell no. Hey, you didn't have a ring on your finger before you did it, right? So, hey, you technically wasn't married. You was engaged. You wasn't married, so you don't tell nothing. Keep your mouth shut and keep it moving. Take it to the grave.
All right, Dre.
Man, all I'm going to tell that dude is, yo, they say God watch over children and fools. And you was a damn fool to run up in that raw dog. I'm going to say this one last time for all y'all listeners out there, y'all dudes in particular. Stop running up in these chicks unprotected. We are the reason they get pregnant. It's not them, it's us. We're the reason why a woman's get pregnant. Stop doing it. They sell condoms by the boatload.
Team pull out, baby.
CVS, Walgreens. Stop doing it, man.
Team pull out,
baby. You worried about the baby. What if you'd have brought an STD back to your wife? You know what I'm saying? Something maybe she couldn't get rid of. Stop. Y'all, all y'all need to stop doing it. Even if you're single, stop doing it. God. But anyway, man, he's like, God watched over you. And God, you know, God bless the child that didn't make it to this earth. But hey, take it to the grave.
Bron, what you think?
Well, I'm with Dre. Stop running up in there raw before you come out there with that ooh-ah sound, and you're going to have more problems than a baby. But I'm with James, too. Boy, take it to the grave. When they bury you, that shit go with you. That should be the first thing that go with you.
Now all y'all say, take it to the grave, take it to the grave, take it to the grave.
You gotta go down with the Titanic, dog.
But every single one of y'all know that y'all wives is like Inspector Gadget, the Bunk from The Wire, Bunk and Freeman from The Wire. They got all these great investigating skills. You got one window. You had one window to tell the truth.
Oh.
Y'all pass it up on that one window. What's to say this chick don't get crazy and come back with some old stuff? Cause let's be honest. This dude who wrote that letter, this fool probably got some old text messages out there. He got this email that he probably didn't delete after he sent the email. He probably ain't put the email in the trash. You know what I'm saying? If you listening, brother, let me tell you something. You need to go and delete that email that you sent to us. Go and delete it. Go and delete that email. Go and delete every text. That old flame. Get rid of her number. You get rid of all of it.
You just need to erase everything.
Sly, we forgot one key point.
What's that?
Man, I hope they ain't on the same damn phone contract.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
Man. Now we talking about some first 48 shit.
I'll tell you.
That's how you get caught.
You got to take it to the grave, cuz. Hey,
yeah,
you just got to take that chance, man. You can't. Hey, you tell her now. You might think everything all good, and she gonna forgive you. But shit, who's to say? Hey, she still don't fucking flip out. Oh, you had a baby? Oh, and we ain't even got no baby yet.
They don't even know if it's his or not. Don't even know if it's his. He don't even know if it's his or not.
Dre, you muted, Dre.
You muted,
Dre, you
bro.
gotta unmute, man.
That's what makes it so crazy. Cause okay, even if she got an idea that he cheated, if he say that he got her pregnant and she had a miscarriage, now she thinking you running out there willy-nilly. Do not do that. Because at least in her mind, she might think you went in there protect. Even though you cheated, but she thinking you went in there protect because she don't got anything. Just leave it as is. Like you say, delete the whole paper trail behind it and swallow that shit. Swallow it and digest it. Because if it come out, trust me, it's over. She find out you got somebody that's pregnant, it's over because she gonna feel like you cannot value her as your wife, that you went out there and did it, even though y'all was engaged, like you say, you wasn't technically married, but in a woman's eyes, once you engaged, y'all married. So if she feel like you went out there like that and you ain't even had a decency to protect yourself, man, it's a wrap, dog.
Dre, you talking about engaged. If you're in a relationship to them, you are married.
Yeah, these days.
You are bound by paper.
You be in relationships and you don't even know you're in a relationship these days.
Man, listen, bro.
So,
it's crazy.
Hey, I got one thing to say, man. Vivica, I never cheated on you. That's my wife. So whatever I'm saying.
Hey, that's a good disclaimer, James. Hey, that disclaimer was on point.
I love you, baby.
Hey, James. James. Hey, I got a couch you can sleep on tonight too, bro. I got a couch for you tonight if you want to sleep on it.
Hey, we go call it a show on that one right there.
Oh.
I really want to thank all of our listeners, all our viewers out there supplying us, watching us, growing with us, helping us get better as we get better, and thank you for writing in. And once again, we want to make sure that you subscribe to the RIP 28 podcast, whether it's on YouTube, SoundCloud, Instagram, what else we at, Facebook, Twitter. Make sure you subscribe. And if you have any questions, we're going to randomly do some of these question answer segments, advice columns. We're going to randomly do some advice columns for everybody out there. You got anything to say before we get out of here? Let's start off with Dre. Dre, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, man, everybody stay up, man. Keep your head up. You know what I'm saying? Stay away from this COVID-19 and take care of yourself. What
about you, Bron?
Man, thank y'all for listening and for being such a great audience, man. Representing the RIP 28 podcast, man. Y'all stay safe, stay blessed, stay together, and let's beat COVID, man. Let's beat COVID.
How about you, James?
Yeah, man. Everybody, hey, please like, share, and subscribe, man, on YouTube. Hey, man, just stay in the house. You know what I'm saying? Stay in the house.
All right. Well, once again, we want to thank you for listening to the RIP 28 podcast. It's a place where we have a lot to say. You might not like what we have to say. Some of you might actually like what we have to say, but we're going to keep on saying it here on the RIP 28 podcast. Take it easy, y'all.